Good afternoon, hello, and welcome. It's Alicia of the Chardon Sign Shack coming to you live from Chardon, Ohio. I think I need to dim this light maybe just a little bit. Let's see. Okay, that's a little better. Anyhow, welcome. As you're hopping on, please say hello. Let me know where you're coming from. Let me see here if I can pull it up on my secondary device here, so I can get the comments going as you hop on. Like I said, say hello and welcome. I missed you guys. Hi, Judy. How are you? So just hop on and say hello. We're going to do some fun daisies today for some spring. I made a tray. And I don't know if you saw my sister Heather, she had shown how you could do like a jig. There's this jig thing you can get on Amazon, which I'll show you again when you come on, but it makes it super easy to join. Yeah, we had a great trip. Unfortunately, I missed everyone too. I really did. But I'm glad to be back. It's nice to go away, but there's no place like home, right? Got a little cold when I was away, so as you're hopping on too, I might sound a little funny. I got a little head cold going, but I'm trying to work through it. I'm on Dayquil, so I might be goofier than usual. But anyhow, as you're hopping on, please say hello. And let me find my... Okay, so make sure to do this to sprinkle as you're, Heather, yeah, Heather had a ball and she finished. Hello, Shelly. Hello, Donna. Hello, Carol. I'm going to switch those away. Heather installed pull-out drawers in my cupboards while I was gone, soft clothes and everything. I was so excited. My sister Heather is she's a master woodworker, and if she can't figure it out, I mean, she doesn't know how to do it, she will figure it out. And then she teaches me, so I'm lucky that way. Thank you for sprinkling. Yes, make sure to sprinkle. And that means to do this if you're new. And this is going to be the giveaway today. Mother's Day will be coming up, believe it or not, pretty soon, in a little over a month. And it has the pretty little daisy in it. Moms make life better, or beautiful, beautiful. And they sure do. I miss my mom every day. Anyhow, this is going to be the giveaway today. Make sure to sprinkle and make sure to write sprinkle in the comments, please, because if you have a private page, we don't know whether you've sprinkled or not, and it makes it easier for April. The stencils we're doing today, if you want a screenshot, which some of you do, are these two, 9918 and 7620, and I'm using the small sizes. Yeah, my husband, he's like, I think sometimes he gets shown up a little bit, but eventually he's like, okay, Heather can do it better than I can, so. But she's a perfectionist. She's type A. Jeff and I are not so type A. So that makes it easier for her, but or harder for her, I think easier for us, but probably why her stuff turns out more accurate. So thank you for sprinkling, Sherry. Yeah, sisters are awesome. I love mine, and I hope everybody has a sister, a Heather in their life, or a friend, or even a brother, whatever that may be. But these are the stencils. I'm using size small. They're on sale today and tomorrow for 20% off. And then if you use my code SIGNSHACK, SIGNSHACK, it's going to be an additional 15% off. And you can save, so it'll be a 35% total savings on that. And then if you add anything else in your cart, I always like to go for free shipping. You'll get an additional 15% with my code, and you can use that anytime. And I'm just going to hang that back here behind me, and we'll get started on the project. I'll remind you a couple times during the live as more people hop on to please sprinkle, because that helps the stencil smith grow, and it helps me grow. That's how people find us, so I appreciate it. Hello, Arlene. How are you? And please say, you know, if you're new or first timer, please let us know. So I made this ahead of time, and this is a tray, and you can see on the back, I have not painted it yet, but it's 3 pieces, and it's a 1x5. And what I did was I put 3 holes in it, and they're, I think it's 20 inches long, but let me measure that to, I think that's what I went with. If I was grabbing the wrong end of this tape. Yeah, they're 20 inches long. So you can wood glue and clamp these, but I use the extra measure, which makes it so sturdy, it's unbelievable. Heather turned me on to this, like I said, this dowel jig. So just to give you an example, I was practicing with this, and you can see where I put my inaccurate hole, but it's super easy. It's on Amazon, but look how you make the dowels, you draw the lines across, which I'll do a little demo, but it would be so easy with your woodworking. And you draw a line across both. You can't see it because I've been practicing on this board painting. You draw a line across, and it has a little line on the jig, and you line it up and drill your hole, and look how nicely they fit together. If you you have to get your line accurate though, but with a little wood glue and those dowels, this is so sturdy, it's unbelievable. So these are 3 1x5s cut 20 inches. And I am gonna do end pieces on these, which I did ahead of time, because I am gonna do a vintagey, like a resist. So I'm gonna angle you down. And it's hard for you to see, but I can see where my lines are at, where the wood, which I'm going to make 3 planks. The middle one, I'm going to do this blue, this agave. I think that's how you say it, agave by Waverly. But what I'm going to do first, and I believe any wax will work for this. It is a great idea. Heather comes up with the best ideas. And I was really surprised to have done it accurately the first time. That's how easy it is to use. So this is, I like Dixie Belle Best Dang Wax, and I use it a lot of times to wax my inside pieces. It makes them easy to dust off, and it gives them a nice sheen and protects them. But you can also use it as a resist. People use candles, but I like using wax for this. So what I do is I just get a little bit on my finger, and I'm just going to start putting wax, and wherever you lay down wax, it's going to resist the paint. So I'm just kind of, I mean, not super globby, but let's see. Yeah, you're still in the camera. And I want to bring some to the edge here. Let me find where my line is, like maybe right there along the edge. And like there. I don't think I want it right. Hold on a minute. I just want, let's see, we'll put a little bit there. I'm having a hard time seeing where my lines are at on this board. But you just put a little bit of wax where you want it to resist. And I am going to resist it a little bit on the other side too. And I'm just doing this middle one because this is the one that's going to be that agave. And so anywhere you want to resist the paint, you just randomly place the, okay, I see where that's at, that line. So I don't want to put tape down where these boards are. I could now, but if you did it, like if you put tape after you did this middle one, it would be awkward because you might pull off more paint. But I'm going to start with my brush, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this. I don't know if any of you have done the jig thingy. Yes, she does. The jig thingy is amazing. I used it today, but I did not tape it because my grandkids and the neighbor boys were in and out of my garage, and it was just really, there was a lot going on. So if she doesn't do it, I will tape something and put it up. But I'm just getting some of this agave, and I'm going to go down kind of the middle of the board here. And I did put gloves on because I'm a very sloppy painter. I am. And I may use one of the Stencil Smith angle brushes closer to the line to get that a little more accurate. Like I said, I'm having trouble even seeing where my board is at. This paint's so dark. But I'm just getting this on here real good in the middle, and then I'll go with the angle brush, the biggest Stencil Smith angle brush along this. And like I said, I could lay the tape down now, but I wouldn't want to do it later because it might pull with that wax. It might be pull more paint up than you want to pull up. So I'm getting it as close as I can. And this is that Waverly. I was at Walmart yesterday and I saw these colors and I thought it would be perfect. And this is truffle. This is Waverly truffle underneath that any brown can do. You can use any water-based acrylic paint. And I'm going to come over the edges here. And they're going to be, the outside is going to be ivory. I might have went over a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to put this back in my baggie. I may need it again, I'm not sure, with a wet wipe. And I am going to get my Stencil Smith brush here, and I'm just going to kind of go down where I see the edge of that. You probably can't see it because, heck, I'm having a hard enough time seeing it, but this angle brush is a nice way to go down and make a nice, fairly nice, even edge. I mean, it's going to be very distressed looking. So, let's get this right here. I can see it really good there. It's going to be distressed looking. I don't know where my blue paint went. Oh, there it is. If you're new to me, you'll learn that I lose stuff all the time. I think that's part of being a crafter, right? Yeah, it's a real pretty color. And I haven't worked with these very much, these Waverly paints, but like I said, I was at Walmart and I was trying to find some wood projects for my grandson to do over spring break. And I saw these colors and I saw this. I love blues. Blue's my favorite color anyhow. So I'm just kind of bringing this down. And I'm actually going over a little bit. I can see the line right there. I can't see the line very well. It's spring break here in Ohio for my grandkids. So my grandson's going on the third night with us. He likes to stay. You know, Grandma and Papa kind of spoil him. But that's the fun of being a grandparent. Plus, usually you have a little bit more than you did when you were young and struggling with your kids, and you can spoil them. I should have laid tape down. I'll go over this with the ivory. Maybe the tape wouldn't matter. I don't know. I just fear like after I do the resist that it would take more up. We'll see. Maybe I'll try tape when I do the ivory. even though it's going to be a little distressed here. I'm so sorry. I'm fighting this cold here. I think every time you go on an airplane, you get a cold. We went on several, we flew Southwest. I like to fly Southwest, although from what I understand, they're changing everything, which kind of stinks. Especially the free bags when you fly, but I think they're changing other stuff that made it super appealing, because like we've had to change our tickets so many times with my dad being sick that there's no change fee or anything like that. But anyhow, we did notice we went on one old Southwest plane, and the other three, you know, because you got to change flights, were new. And let me tell you, they made the newer ones, I could tell a difference. Wow. Like, holy cow, do they, they're making them a lot smaller than, I mean, even the small older planes were. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to swish this out for a minute. And I am going to dry this. Hold on a minute. I got a big glob there. I don't want to leave that. And I'm going to dry this, and then we'll do we'll take it off with my scraper with this. Then we'll do the ivory on the others. Oh, congratulations. Who was a great-grandma? Sherry, I missed that. I haven't really been on Facebook very often. I'm trying to, I don't know, with these gloves, I can't get out of anything, but congratulations, Sherry. Hi, Catherine. Thank you for sharing, for sprinkling. I forgot I can't say that. But I'm going to give this a dry, and I'm just moving it around. I got the resist underneath it, and I think I will put tape on this, and we'll just see what happens. This is truffle underneath, and this is agave over it, and I have the wax as a resist. And so anywhere you put that wax, it's going to peel the paint up. I was going to do a crackle on this, but I swear I have the hardest time with crackles. I know everybody can do it with Elmer's glue, and I was messing around with it, and I couldn't get mine to crackle at all. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Well, that's going to be where the resist is anyhow. I have too much water on that. But we had a really good time. We did an awful lot of hiking, an awful lot of bike riding. My son and his fiance had 2 electric bikes, which I had never ridden an electric bike. And I always thought, because we have bike trails all around us, we have one we could actually ride for 2 counties. And it's not drying right there because I got too much water on it. But it's just unbelievable. It's called, like, it has a pedal assist, and what a difference that makes. Thank you, Mary. Hi, Kim. Make sure to sprinkle as you're hopping on. This is the giveaway today. Moms Make Life Beautiful, and it's got a pretty little daisy in the middle. Daisies are just happy, I think. So, of course, I got way too much water on that, but I'm pretty sure that's where wax is at, because some came off when I touched it with my finger. But I love doing a wax resist because it does, it's really gives it a vintagey, weathered look. And I did paint the brown ahead of time. I'm just so afraid if I put tape down, it's going to pull a lot of the paint up. So we had fairly nice weather. The first day we were in California, it was 50 and rainy, of course. still a little wet right there. And then it did warm up. So I've just got this old paint scraper here. I've had it hanging around for probably, hi Judy, how are you? Hello Donna. Hanging around for forever. Probably since we moved here, probably 40 years or more. I don't know. But it's just like a paint scraper. And when you take it, it's going to pull the paint up wherever you put that wax down. Because that wax is like a resist. And so anywhere you put that down, it takes it out. And I did some on the sides here. And like I said, you could do these with tea lights. The candle, like the little cheapy tea lights, but I have wax here, so I just use the wax. And I'm going to get it on this too, because I put some on here, and you can see where it just comes off wherever you put that wax. So you can place it, you know, wherever you want it. And let me just give this a once over. Sometimes I feel like I didn't get down here by the corners. Okay, and I am going to put this over here. I'm going to give this a quick little dry here, and I'm going to try taping it off. I just want to make sure it's completely dry so it doesn't hopefully pull, so I can get a nice kind of sharper line where the ivory is going to go. Do you like that effect though? I think it looks really cool. Yeah, you could use beeswax, any kind of wax, candle wax, beeswax, anything like that. Just acts as a resist. I just want to make sure it's dry. So let me get my tape. I'm going to have to take my gloves off for a minute because working with painter's tape and gloves on are not fun at all. Like zero fun is had. I'm always sticking the paint to my gloves. But as you're joining, please make sure to sprinkle. I am the ambassador for the Stencil Smith, and the Stencil Smith is a small, oh, I'm looking for my tape. Okay. Sorry, I forgot what I went over there for because I started talking. Okay, let me look at this here, and I'm going to tape it right on the line. Where's the line? It's so hard to tell. That joiner works so good. There's the line. Okay, let's tape it right there. Okay, I'm going to tape it and just kind of press it only there, like on the edge. And these were 1x5s. You could also use like a, so this is going to be, I wanted mine wider. That's why I used the 3 pieces. This is 13.5 inches wide. Of course, you could use a 1x12 and it would be like 11.25 inches wide. And then you would just use tape to make the planks. But I'm just going to do this here. But I think I was telling you about the Stencil Smith. They're a great little company in Ohio. I'm so proud to be their ambassador. It's a husband and wife team, family-owned business, small business. Everything is made in America, from the brushes to the Mylar to the stencils. The stencils are cut to order, so as soon as you order it, if it's business hours, they're cutting them and shipping them out. And you typically, I'm in Ohio, you know, you have to depend on the post office, but I typically get mine in 2 to 3 days. But I'm in the same state, but I've heard people say This tape is not. I have heard people say that they get theirs in California sometimes in like 2 or 3 days. So I think it just depends how good the post office is being. But their shipping response is amazing. And another great thing about the Stencil Smith is you can get the stencils in so many different, hi Jude, how are you? Yes, they have the best brushes, the best customer service. Like you can't, the biggest selection. They have over 10,000 stencils. And I know, I've been looking, but I know I have not seen them all. So I'm just taping where this plank is off because I want a little bit of a straighter line where this ivory is going to go. So that's why I'm doing this. And I'm taping on the inside where the blue agave is. There we go. Start it there. And hopefully I won't pull up too much tape. Because I know people do a tape resist too. They put tape. I've seen them put like packing tape and pull paint up as well. They've used that. So I don't want to pull up too much is my goal. But I forgot about these planks. And I'm just really making them tight along the edge where the seam is going to be. And I don't think it's going to matter too awful much because it's supposed to look a little weathered, a little vintage. But let's do this anyhow. I didn't realize how hard it would be to see those planks either after I painted it that brown. So what have you guys been up to? You need a custom size? Yep, that's right. And if there's a size that you need that they don't offer, April will work with you to get the size you need. I mean, it's just the most wonderful company. Really, really, truly, they treat people the way people should be treated. I'm doing that, and I'm doing that along there. So we're going to have a nice, so on the outside, going to where I'm going to paint it ivory. So now let me close this agave up, and I'm going to put some more wax on it, and we're going to do this ivory here, Waverly Ivory. And I am going to just place some definitely, I like to get it on the edges. Yeah, we did a lot of hiking and biking, but anyways, I don't know, I think I was telling you about those pedal assist bikes, and we ordered some when we got home. Well, we were lucky they were on sale, way cheaper than what my son, he was like, oh my gosh, you guys are saving a lot of money compared to what we paid. But if you like biking, it just makes it, you're still getting exercise, but it just makes it so much easier. So I'm just putting that wax randomly in places. I think I want just a dab there. Just dabbing it along. Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm sniffling over here, guys. I started feeling yucky yesterday. I was working, I was actually working on the round I hope to get finished before I left. I'll show you what I have finished so far. I love all these new ones that April has been designing. I mean, they're just amazing. They're absolutely beautiful. Let's see. Okay. So let me get my gloves on. Oh, you know what? I don't think I did any over here. Can't have it looking all nice and neat on the sides too. So I'm just like randomly putting the wax. I didn't put any there either, or here. Okay. So hopefully this turns out the way I envision it. You know how that is. Sometimes you envision things and they don't turn out quite the way you envision them. Yeah, that's a really good idea, Jarita. Very, very good idea. So let's get some ivory here. I thought about, I need to get some new, I have those flashing, aluminum flashing, and I need to get some new ones because they're so gunked up on the edges. I'm going to just pour some ivory out here on this plate and get my handy dandy stencil smith brush, which I hope everybody's gotten their brushes. They are just amazing. And I'm just going to paint this in there. I love daisies. I think daisies are so pretty. What's your favorite spring flower? I love lilacs too because lilacs smell so good. But it seems like here, every time our lilacs bloom, we either get a freeze or a really hard spring rain, and then all the blooms just, it's never good. So I'm just painting this on here. And I do have my gloves on because I'm so messy. We'll get this on. Excuse me. I thought this brown underneath would look really pretty. And I'm going to use an extra little stencil that's not on sale today, but it's one of my favorite background ones. It's like the vintage word. I don't know exactly what it's called. I'm going to have to... Yeah, I haven't used chalk paint very much, and it definitely is thicker. But like I said, these colors really caught my eye when I was at Walmart. And I like to run my finger along whatever I'm painting, the back side of it, so it doesn't get that like ridge line. If you know what I'm talking about, that awful ridge line that you can't get rid of unless you sand it down. And I should have this on my little, I had my little paint sticks out. And I know this is like watching paint dry, but I wanted to show you how to do this effect. And I already did it on my side handles. And again, I just go around with my fingers on the bottom. And you could do this with chip brushes too to even make it look chippier. It just depends what look you're going for. And I'm going to flip this over here, and I'm actually going to kind of prop this end up with my paint stick here so the bottom does not stick to my paper down there, which can be a problem. You know what I'm talking about if you've done it. I've done it. But Jarita had a really good idea. She said maybe just use stencils, hold them down. Or like I said, I do have these, the only thing I was afraid of was that the tape would pull more of the paint off, but we'll see what happens. This will be like trial and error. think I'll dry it and scrape it first, and then we'll pull it off and see where we're at. And then we'll start with our daisies. This is just to get to our daisies. So I hope everybody had a good week while I was gone. We had very, very nice weather, I guess, here in Ohio. We were in California, like I said, the first day it was 50 and rainy, and I think it was like 72 here back home. But then by the time we left, it was really warm. And then, of course, now it's in the 80s now that we're gone. But it was still really nice because except for the first day when it was rainy, it was beautiful every day. You know, the sunshine makes you feel so good. It's just unbelievable how good the sunshine makes you feel. Makes you feel like a new person. At least I think so. And I'm not getting this like, I'm going over a couple spots. Hey, buddy. My grandson and my husband just went to pick up pizza and wings. Okay, I think that's going to be good. And I'm going to put this in my baggie in case I need to do a little touching up. We'll see. And let's give it a dry here because you can't scrape it until you dry it. Sunflowers, daisies, tulips, hydrangeas. Oh, I have some hyacinths outside. They're beautiful. They smell so pretty. I saw they bloomed when we came home, but usually what happens is they bloom and it snows, or that or my daffodils. You love daisies, Cindy? Tulips. Oh, wild violets. Those are beautiful. Lilacs. Yeah, daisies. Lilacs and peonies. Yes, exactly, Sherry. We'll just see where I'm at. We will see. This is all just, I'm doing it right now. It's not like I did it beforehand, so hopefully it turns out good and looks nice. And just move your heat gun or your blow dryer like around when you're drying, because you don't want to bubble your paint, because you can do that, especially with these heat guns, because they get so hot. You can just bubble your paint if you leave it in one spot and you're not moving it around. So make sure to do that. I love daisies too. I think daisies are just happy. They just seem super, super happy. And we got the 2 daisies we're going to use. And I'm going to try and work the daisies around where it's distressed, because I want the distress to show through, like that, the whole thing's distressed. I just put a new wallflower in, and it's one that smells like suntan lotion. It smells so good. Those wallflowers from Bath & Body. Every time they open the door, I can smell it. It's just about dry. So has anybody watched Wicked since it just came out? Thank you, April. Oh, thank you, Kristen. Welcome. Got a great group of girls here. My son. So I'm very into criminal ID. I love criminal ID. And I've often said that one of these days my husband and I want to go cross country. We want to travel And I thought like I'd stop at people's homes who wanted me to stop and see them, or we'd meet at a restaurant, of my followers. And my son, he's much more cautious than I am. And he's like, Mom, don't you know that's the way people end up getting murdered? I'm like, no, none of my followers would do that. We'd just craft together. I said we'd have fun. But it's just funny, because he thinks I'm old and don't know what I'm doing. But that's the way it is, right? I don't think your kids ever fully think you know what you're doing sometimes. Okay. It's just about dry, guys. I'm sorry this has taken so long to dry. Just taking a little bit of time here. This is why I usually always, and you can see how easy it is to resist, because I just touched that and it came off with my finger. And I think I might do one more quickish coat of this white here, if you guys don't mind bearing with me a minute. Nope, I got some blue in there. I'm going to put a little bit more ivory out, just one more coat, because I want it to be a little more solid where it's not resisted at, if that's okay. It just wasn't quite the coverage. White over brown is a little more hard to cover. So when we were in California, I had been before with my sister had taken me when she lived out there, but we went to Griffith's Observatory, and we went to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which was really fun for my husband. He was thrilled seeing all the, you know, like his heroes. He loves Arnold, John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, all that stuff. And it was just really fun seeing it through someone else's eyes where it's new. But I didn't know, I was talking, the guy was really nice that was working that Chinese theater there. And I had no idea that, I just want to get one more coat on here. The theater, so you know how they put their hands in the cement, and their footprint, which, by the way, my goodness, I have such big feet. I have a size 10, but like Marilyn Monroe's feet and Betty Grable and Jane Russell and all that stuff, they had really, really little feet. I mean, I know they were in high heels, but they were like teeny tiny. And, but I guess this is how he said that started, with the handprints and the, so let me give this another quick dry. The handprints and the feet. It started with, it was Douglas Fairbanks Jr. Oh, I forget the other one. Mary Pickford. And there was another lady, and I cannot remember her name, but she's the one who made the mistake. But they were building that theater, that Sid guy, and they were at lunch, and they walked over to see the theater being built, the Chinese theater, and she stepped in wet cement by accident. And the guy who owned that, the Chinese theater, he thought what a great idea to immortalize them, to put their handprints in their feet and then have them sign it. So that's how that started. At least that's what he told me. He could have been telling me a line of hooey, but I believed it. I love road trips too. You're always the driver. Oh, we've done that before, April. That's a hard drive. I love the crafting and eating part. Yeah, that's the first time. We've only gone on a couple vacations since my dad has been so sick. So it was very nice to get away. I knew he was in good hands with my sister. Let me take these gloves off and we'll do a little bit of scraping. Take that tape off. Whew, hands are sweating. Let's see. Tape here. And this ivory is real pretty. It's an off-white. So hopefully it's not taking too much extra. It is taking some paint off, so be careful. You can probably see it there on my tape. I don't know if you can, but it is taking more tape off. Or not more tape off. Good Lord. I told you, I'm already goofy. Dayquil definitely makes me goofier. It's taking paint off, to be specific. But we're going for a chippy vintage look, so that's fine. Let's get this other piece of tape and then we can start to the fun part, the stenciling. I taped it down really too good. But yeah, California, those of you that are Californian, what a beautiful state you have. Just absolutely gorgeous. We went to the beach a lot. Like when you're from Northeast Ohio, even though we have Lake Erie, which is beautiful, it's not every day that you get to ride along the ocean on a bicycle, back and forth, and just stop. And okay, so it did get a little bit more up, but that's okay. I'm gonna roll with it. And I just wanna start here with the getting more of the white paint off, and I'm going to go along where the line is too, so it's not, I feel like I put more wax. On the ends than I thought I did, but maybe I didn't. But yeah, I thought I would, I really did want to try this with Crackle, but I swear there must be, I've used Crackle stuff, I used Elmer's glue, and I have trouble with the Crackle, so I'm doing it on the sides here too, because you don't want your sides to look new or anything when you're that would look bad. Wouldn't look, so let me get my paint sticks that I use out of the way here. I like to use those really big paint sticks to prop my stuff up on. Oh my goodness, I'm having to use muscles here. I'm gonna have a mess to clean up when I'm done. Thought I had some along there. I want to get a little bit like on the edges here. I always like to distress when I'm doing anything around the edges. I thought I put some more in the middle here, but I guess I didn't. Okay, and I'm gonna, of course, get the sides here. This could be a very dull scraper too. I don't know, maybe I got it upside down. Because like I said, it is very, very old. I don't even know where we got it old. Like, did Jeff come with it to the marriage? I know I didn't come with it. Was it my dad's when he moved in with us? I don't know. Okay, so let's get this stuff off here. And let me close my paint here for a minute, but what do you think about that? Like that chippy look, vintage look with a little bit of wax, a scraper. So it's just random where you place it. Well, I mean, I placed it randomly, but where I wanted it randomly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this into a daisy tray. And I want to, where are the stencils I'm using? Did I show them to you? I did. Maybe I didn't show them to you. Anyhow, these are the stencils. I'm gonna use this as a background in the middle here, but these are the stencils that are on sale today, these two right here. These daisies and these daisies. And I'm gonna use these littler ones on the handle. There's gonna be two handles here. And I'm gonna use these on here. So, but what I'm gonna start with is I'm gonna get a little bit of this. Oh my goodness. Couldn't have planned that any better. I'm going to start with this truffle, which is the color underneath. And this is stencil number, let me find it here, 9283, and this is the extra small. But it's just like vintage handwriting. Look how gorgeous that is. Isn't that pretty? So I am going to start just like so. And I like to kind of start in the middle of anything and go outwards. And of course I'm eyeballing what the middle is here. I don't know where my, oh, I'm like, I don't know where my plate went. It's right here in front of me. Put a little bit of this truffle here. And I'm gonna get one of my wonderful stencil brushes, which I think I'm going to use this 1/2 inch size, which is really one of my favorite sizes. And I'm going to be careful not to go into this white. I just want to do this on the blue. So when you're stenciling, the trick to stenciling is you get paint on your brush. You load it on your brush, not a huge amount, but you can see where there's a little more than you need on there. And then you're gonna offload. I like to use shop towels to offload. And if you're getting bleeds, chances are you haven't offloaded enough. And so I am gonna start, I'm actually gonna get a stencil, just like Jarita said, and I'm gonna lay it right here where my white is at. So it's going onto this stencil. I don't wanna put it under the stencil because it'll pull that stencil up, but I'm gonna put it right up to that white line because I just want this lettering in the blue area. And I'm gonna do it lightly. I don't want it super dark, so I'm probably just gonna swirl in one coat here. Just like so. And I'm going to get a little bit more paint and offload. Now you can offload onto like coffee filters, paper towels, anything like that. Of course you can. You can offload even onto paper plates, but I don't think they're as absorbent. So the paper towels and stuff. So I'm going to move this stencil down here and line it up again on that white line so I'm not going over into the white. And if you do, you could just take a rag. You could take a wet wipe and wipe it off. I moved that there. So does anybody have any plans for spring break that they're doing? Thank you, Becca. So I've got one little bit of the wording here, and I'm going to kind of move it down. Well, now I got to line it up. And you can, oh, excuse me. I don't know if this, I think this is a head cold, but it could have been they were just in their spring, I felt like when we were there, because everything was blooming. It smelled so pretty when we went on bike rides to smell all the fresh flowers and stuff. So I am again, and you know what, you should, here I am not doing it, but you should tape your stencil down, and I did not. So let's get this taped here, because you can chance it shifting, and it just about did on me. Just move it down a little bit, and again, I'm going to use this. I'm actually going to use this one because it's smaller. I'm going to use the edge of that on top of it to block that off. Oop, I should put it back on the table. That would be helpful too. Right there. And I'm just gonna swirl that in there pretty lightly, and where it's brown, it's just gonna go right into that background. Okay, let's see here, right there. I got so much going on underneath, I'm not sure where I'm leaving off at, but it's the same color, so that brown where we distressed underneath, and I'm going to come down here and just hold that there. Again, offloading. Just like so. And I think that's plenty. You can take a peek. So we've got that fun, and you can't even tell, you know, like where I've started, where I've ended. It looks really good. Let's see. Get the tape here. Kind of line it up. And I'm also using the brown where the brown's starting, which is also a helpful guide, starting and ending, to line that up. And I'm going to get a little bit of that truffle offload. And use this as a guide again. And like I said, you want to make sure you put it on top, not below. And I never thought, I probably should have came over the sides with the wording. I just saw, oh my gosh, I can't remember who it was that did it, but it was in the Paint and Share, which if you haven't joined the Paint and Share, make sure to join it. There's so many beautiful things going on in there. Golly, I wish I could remember who did it. I want to say maybe it was Donna, but did that beautiful Give It to God and Go to Sleep, and she did that beautiful, I think it was Musical Notes, which is another beautiful background, gorgeous behind it. It was so pretty. Whoops, see, I shifted there, but I got it okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to come over the side here. Just like so. And then come over, it just makes it look more fluid. And then I'm just lining it up. And if you get a little bit on your white, I didn't use the stencil to mark it off. And this is just one of those, you could tape it here and there, but I'm trying to hold it for the camera so you can see. So you're just going over the side like that. And I think that makes a really nice background there. So now I'm going to put this in my little baggie. And I don't think we need the other brushes, so let me put those in water. And then I'm going to get the daisies. And I'm going to use the bigger daisies on this. And I kind of want to place them. So I'm going to place one here, I think. And again, I'm going to want to tape. Sometimes I hold things, but I should remind you always to tape it because it does keep it from shifting, which is really nice not to have it shifting. And I'm going to use smaller brushes for this. I'm going to use the smallest, the 1/4 inch for the middle. So I'm going to do a little bit of, this is Deco Arts Moon Yellow, which I really like this Moon Yellow. Hello, Denise. Thank you, Becca. Hi, Linda. I'm going to do the daisies in ivory. And the middle with this yellow, this Moon Yellow. So I got to get a little bit more ivory out here. Okay, let's do, I think I'll get a smaller one for the petals too. Let me find my, I'm going to use the smallest brush, the 1/4 inch. I'm going to do the center first. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to randomly place them. Like one here, I think. And then I'm going to do one here. And I guess I'll do one there. And then there's no yellow there. So they're pretty nicely, actually randomly placed. So again, I did dip my paint, my brush in the paint. These stencils brushes are the best. If you are using any other stencil brush, you really want to be using the Stencil Smith brushes. They're real dense. They go on super. And I'm getting paint, and I'm going to just offload here. And these little brushes allow you to get in there and really not need to tape or block anything off. They're phenomenal for that. So I'm probably going to have to do 2 coats of this. This is ivory. I'm doing this the same color. And I don't know if I should. I think I'm going to try where I'm just doing, if it makes sense, this has been distressed. So I'm going to kind of stencil around the distressing. So I'm not painting over the distressing, if that makes sense. Like right there. I'm going to try that and see if I don't like that. It's only paint. You just go back over it. Just like there's some distressing, so I'm kind of going around it. And with this ivory, it's going right into the ivory that's over here. So it's really okay. And I want to get this one here. So that's what's good about doing colors like that. Like it's going to go right into that color that's already there. Like when I did the brown over here, using just 1 or 2, 3 colors. Okay. Not sure if I like that or not. I'm going to flip it up. What do you think? I'm going to do another coat and then we'll kind of distress it a little. But what do you think like that with it looking like it's been, you know, the whole thing is distressed, or do you want me to put the daisy over it? What do you think? Give me some answers. If you want me to go over it, I'll go over it. I don't know if it looks stupid, but I need some help here, girls. And in the meanwhile, I'm gonna do another coat of yellow, and then I'll come back to the white while you're giving me some answers, because everything's time lapse. And it takes a while sometimes for it to come through. Let's see. You would put the daisies over, just like that. Okay, we got 2, 4, 2, 4, like it is. Daisy over, go over. Okay, so it seems like we have more go overs. I'm sorry, girls that want it to not go over. So there's some more yellow, and I'll put that brush back. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, let me get a little bit more ivory, and I'll start down here with these that I didn't, just so it'll dry by the time I get back to it. And I'm gonna offload and do these daisies, and I'm gonna take this daisy and go over the side. And I will still distress it a little bit. Okay. But see how these little brushes just allow you to get in there? And I don't even mind when I'm doing flowers, if I go over, I typically like to go over with the center, and then when I put the lighter color over it, or whatever color, it kind of gives this area around here a different color, and it looks kind of neat, like it was meant to be that way. I'll show you what I mean on the round I'm working on. I just haven't finished it. I just didn't have it in me after dinner, dishes, all that stuff, and not feeling good. And like I said, if you're getting bleeds, the reason you're probably getting bleeds is you're not offloading enough. That's the #1 cause of bleeds. These stencil Smith brushes certainly help. I've tried so many different brushes, and theirs are truly the best. April did a long hunt of brushes because she wanted everything to be just right. She never does anything halfway, I guess you would say, when it comes to anything for her customers or her business. Okay. I am going to leave that one open there, so I'm going to leave one open right there because I think it looks kind of neat right there. And I'm going to go over the side with this, so I'm going to take my tape up and just flip it over like so. And I'm holding it. And I'll have to get some yellow too. I love to go over the edges of my board when I'm stenciling. I think it looks so neat. So let me just get my yellow brush here. And these are just perfect size, these 1/4 inch. Okay, and I'm going to flip it again. I'm going to line it back up how I had it. And I'm going to flip it, and then with this yellow right there. And then I want to bring some, let's see, I don't know. Maybe like that-ish. I think that's the way I'm going to want it. So again, you should tape it down. You could use more tape than this. You could probably also use a piece of tape up here. Painter's tape works well. And just get the yellow. Oop. I'm getting carried away with my yellow. And I put a daisy where it wasn't supposed to go. I'm not going to have anything on these. So you just want to get your wet wipe and wipe it away. Easy peasy. When you mess up, I mess up just like everybody else. I prefer not to do it on camera, but lots of times it happens on camera. It's just the way it is. Okay. I almost did it again. I got a brain block with that one little center there. And I'm going to get my brush for my white. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. So does anybody have any exciting plans for the week or for the weekend or anything? I have no plans, really. I'm going to take my one grandson to get a haircut. He's the one with the mullet. And probably have a couple more sleepovers with the grandkids before they go back to school. Yes, she is. You are right, Sherry. April is not only so creative, but she is, she's a really talented painter. Very talented. She did some lilacs. There's some ones on the website, like on the home page of the one she did with the little bees, and they're really pretty. Like, you don't always have time to do the extra stuff, but I like to, and I think it just adds so much more. But then if you're doing this where you're going to do it for a craft show or something like that, you definitely, you know, want to be able to produce more quicker. You know, time is money. Okay, we got to get these guys. I always hate awkward silences. That's why I talk so much. I'm going to kind of leave this one a little distressed there. I'll have to do 2 coats of this white. Let me give it a quick dry. You can dry over your stencils. You just have to move it around, same as your board. Yeah, it's supposed to be warm here, but rainy. I'm hoping it's warm and not rainy. Oh, birthday party, yay. Hello, Deb. Oh, my goodness, where are you going, Donna? Thank you, Becca. Where are you going? Hopefully somewhere warm. That's exciting. We would like to someday take an Alaskan cruise. And I guess they have Hawaiian cruises too, which I just became aware of. So you could go to all the islands. So I thought that might be kind of neat when we're able to travel a little bit more. You need rain. We get more than our share of rain here over by Lake Erie. Makes it its own environment. And it's okay, I'm doing 2 coats of this ivory, but it's fine that it's not like solid, it's a little blotchy in places. It just makes it look more distressed. Gives it a much more to go along with the theme of being distressed. And this one, I'm again going to go over the side. I think I got to get this here. I don't think I got that a second time. And I am leaving right there on the edge. I've done most of the daisies over the distressing, but these two on the edge, I've left a little distressing, which I think looks kind of neat. It did look a little weird on this one. Let's see, I think I got there. I was losing track of myself. Or I'm talking and I forget to offload. That's the worst thing. You know it like the minute you set your brush down. You're like, oh, yep, forgot to offload, because you can feel it squishing out underneath. So I am going to flip this over like I did the other one. Have to pull the tape up and just kind of flip it over so you keep it kind of in line. And I'm just there we go. Whoops. Wait, ding dong. Stick it right in the paint. So what do you think so far? So this is the tray we've got going so far. We did the resist distressing. We've got some daisies. And I do want to, so ahead of time I did, for time's sake, Caribbean Islands. Oh, that sounds beautiful. A craft retreat. Oh, that sounds so nice. So I have these. I did these ahead of time. And this is like scrap wood we had left over from when we framed in our door. And I think it's like the premium pine, so it's really, really nice, but much more expensive than common pine. So these I'm going to put on the edges. I think they're a 1x3. They're 2.5 inches. So I have ahead of time, because I showed you how to do it here, I painted them in that truffle, and then I put the wax on it, and I distressed them. So I am going to put them here and here. I am going to stencil a little bit, just a wee little bit of these flowers on here, I think. So, oh, hold on a minute here. Let me get my white and my yellow. Where'd my paint go? So on both ends, you know, I could leave them. Oh, I think I just did my wrong one. I think I did my white. I sure did. Okay, that's got to go in the water. There's my yellow. I dipped my white in my yellow. So I'm just going to do and I'm going to get another small one because I'm a ding dong. And I'm going to get some white. And I'm just offloading that. This is another 1/4 inch, I believe. Yep, it's 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to kind of go around. And even though like the stem would be green, I'm making it white because it's my piece. And I can make it any color I want to. And I think I may just do like one coat on this. We'll see what it looks like when I pull it up. And even though you don't see me, I am like offloading. So let's get that there. And so I'm going to want to come around this edge right here. Don't have enough on my brush. Don't have enough, have too much. And then over here, I'm going to line it up again. And I'm going to come around. There's actually a little piece that needs to be fit right there. Okay. I need a little piece there. You got to kind of hold the way this is laying these little pointy pieces down. And I'm going to flip it over. And I know I'm going to need a little more white, so I'm just going to go for it before I even start. And I'm going to go around the sides here. And like I said, I think I'm just going to do one coat. This is going to be really faint here. And get the yellow. Ooh, I got way too much yellow. And so we got that going on so far. I'm starting to sweat. And I'm just getting those little centers. And I'll get some white on here. Just like so. I need to go there. And then flip it kind of over. I need to move that tape. Keeps getting in the way. And I need a little yellow right there. And then, let's see, flip it over. Just like so. So look how cute that looks. Just a little bit. So you could use it this way, or then you could use it this way. And you could even have made all these flowers yellow. That would have been pretty too, to bring that little poppy yellow. And I'm going to put that one there. And then let me do this guy real quickly here. And we'll add our things. We'll look at our couple of new things I have to show, and we'll be on our way. I'm sorry if I'm taking so long. Like I said, that's why I usually try it. And thank you, Danica. Danica, I just saw that when I looked up, and I meant to say thank you, and I forgot to. And then I'm going to get a little more of that yellow. And I need to come over to this side. I need about 5 arms today. And then flip it back over here, line it back up, And I'm gonna flip it this way. And I've got my white one. I'm gonna double check because I've already dunked my white in the yellow. And then get a little bit of yellow here. And then I'm gonna move it on down. Let's see. I think right there, and there, and there. And then get some white. Whoop, I moved it. I don't want to get that guy up there. He's too close to the other ones. And like I said, I just want these really faint. Really, really faint. Oh, I got that shifted. Okay. So I'm going to flip it over here. And then line it back up and flip it over on this side. And you could just leave this blank. I mean, I thought about leaving it blank, but I had these other pretty daisies and I thought, how cute would it be with a mix of them? So then we've got the daisies. And I'm gonna do this after the live, but I'll show you what it's gonna look like because I did not drill the holes yet, even though I marked them. So I will wood glue these on here and clamp it. And then I got these really pretty handles at Hobby Lobby. I love these ones. Okay, and they'll go like right about there. And I will wax it too with a rag. So I got those lined up, but I haven't drilled it yet or wood glued it. So this is what it will look like when it's done. What do you think? Do you like that? Usually I have my stuff drilled and ready to go. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Denise. Thank you. Thank you. I really like it. And what I would do afterwards, and I'll show you like on this real quick, I would take my, I don't know where most of my, oh, here it is. I like to use like the packing stuff that comes in Amazon. And I would just give it a quick little, this is like the finest sandpaper that you could use. And just give it a quick once over. And then if you've never used wax, yeah, I really like this. I think it's super pretty. Very springy, but vintage. Where's my, okay, so I have a rag here I keep for waxing. I need to wash it. But I would take the wax, and it's like the Karate Kid. You would just wax on. And you could even use a darker wax. Like you could use this, you could add a little bit of this Waverly, I don't know if it's a color, but it's the brown color wax. But when you add that this to your pieces, like you wax it on with a soft cloth, and then I would get all around the edges. I have to do the back, or I have to paint the back of it. And then you would just simply, you'd let it set for a couple minutes, and you'd wipe it off, and it gives it a really nice sheen. It makes it really easy to dust it. Of course, if you wanted this food safe, you would want to use beeswax. You would not use this kind of wax. And of course I would wax these pieces as well. And I would want to make sure my daisies were all going the same way, but that's what it'll look like. And the wax, sometimes you can tell, but it gives it a really nice like sheen to it, and it protects it. But like I said, if you want to make it food safe, use beeswax, not this wax. This wax is not food safe. So I'll put that together and I'll have pictures tomorrow. Like I said, I have to wood glue these on, and I have to drill the handles on. But let me, and these stencils, the two I used today, with the exception of the wording, are on sale today and tomorrow for 20% off, and you can save an additional 15% with my code SIGNSHACK, SIGNSHACK, and I'll just show you a couple of my recent purchases here, and then we will choose a winner. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. This is the giveaway today, Moms Make Life Beautiful. And it is stencil number 8116. It's a small. This is it right here. So we're going to be drawing for that. Make sure you have sprinkled, which means to do this, you just hit the little arrow that actually looks like that and sprinkle it out. Hopefully that will help me grow and will help the stencil smith grow. And let me just get a lid on this paint here before I forget and spill it all over everything. And then I'll show you these couple that I just got new. And I don't know if I showed you two of them before. I may have. I don't know. It's been a couple weeks, so I'm not sure. I don't think I did. But anyhow, this one I really fell in love with. It's hand-picked daily lavender seeds, stems, and bouquets. And it's got the little lavender on it. I think that would make a beautiful garden sign. Very nice distressed. And it is stencil number, I got paint on everything. Stencil number 9945. And this is an 18-inch. And it's a 2-piece. So when you get your stencils, they have numbers on them. Let's see. They're always marked with numbers. So if they come apart, if you can see the numbers right there, and it'll tell you what size it is and how many pieces, and they'll have matching numbers so you'll know what goes to what. Because trust me, if you get as many stencils as I get, it's really hard to figure out where it goes with what if something happens and they fall. Yes, they are the best brushes ever. So I may have showed you these two. I don't think I did, but I may have. If I did, I apologize. This is stencil number 9879, and this is 11.25 inches. I'm going to put this on pillows for my grandkids because they love Bigfoot and Sasquatch. But believe in yourself, even when others don't. And I think that's a nice message, especially for teenagers. It's got to be hard being a teenager today. And I think I told you it's 11.25 inches. This one I absolutely love. I'm from West Virginia. That's where I was born. And ironically, I always listen to my Alexa while I'm crafting. And Almost Heaven, West Virginia, the song came on. Like I paused it. It'll still be on when I'm off. But it was just funny because I'm going to show this stencil. But it's number 9944, 12-inch. And it's Country Roads, Take Me Home, My Home Sweet Home. Which I just love that. I think that's beautiful. I'm going to make that. All of my relatives, are from West Virginia. I'm from West Virginia, and that's going to be a lot of gifts for me. And these are two different sizes. This is what I mean by multiple sizes. So you can get multiple sizes. But look at these cute little daisies. Are they not adorable? It's number... So you just don't have to stick with one size. Sometimes I like to get a couple different sizes. 9926, and this is the extra small. So this is probably XX small. So see the difference? But in their own way, you know, for different backgrounds, you would need different sizes. I love backgrounds. I think they really add a lot. And then this one I thought was really pretty. This is number 9963. This is 11.25 inches. This would make another really pretty pillow. Happy Spring with the bunny with the flowers. How cute is that? Is that not adorable? That's what I mean. April is just about, not just about, she is the best designer out there. Her designs amaze me. And this one, I saw something and I was like, April, can you make something like this? And she sure did. And it's really one of my, I haven't made it yet, but I intend to. But it's number 9920, and this is an extra small. And then I also have a, I don't know what size this is. I also have a medium. I wanted 2 different sizes, but I love this. This would be really cute on a shirt. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. And then it's got the rainbow. I just think that's gorgeous. I love, love, love. Excuse me. This one. And it's such a good message. Because why not be kind? It makes the world a much better place. So this is what we did today. And then we'll have the drawing. Oh, I wanted to show you what I was working on. I haven't finished it. So that's what we did today. I have to put it together yet. Oh, this is what I've been working on. I still have to do the overlay part. But, so this one right here, look how pretty that is. I love all these like folk kind of ones that she's been coming out with. And I have to do the overlay on it. I just didn't have it in me the other day. It's just a lot to unpack. So the overlay will go there. But I did get my inspiration. I have this company that I love to order clothes from called Natural Life. And so this is the bag. I had the bag out here. This is where I got my inspiration. But I tried to use some colors within that. You can get your inspiration anywhere. But this is a really pretty one. So I still have to finish it up. But there it is. I think it's really pretty. So let me set that aside before I put it down in paint or something. But it's time for April to choose, to spin the wheel. And we'll get our winner as soon as she spins it. Thank you, April. Thank you, Vicki. Thank you, Denise. Yeah, it's such a pretty stencil. I can't wait to finish it. But I don't think it's going to be tonight, even though it's so close. Sherry's doing the drum roll, which I always appreciate. I know Natural Life has such beautiful stuff. I always wait till everything goes on clearance, though. Unless it's something I really, really want to have. But, so just in a minute, April's, I know their colors are amazing. April's spinning the wheel, and we're going to have a winner for this one right here. Moms Make Life Beautiful with the daisy. It landed on Chris Anderson. So Chris Anderson, you are the winner for today. And I appreciate all of you joining us, and we'll have another great live for you next Tuesday at 4 p.m. EST. Thank you so much, and I'll see everybody. Have a great week. Thank you. Bye-bye.